Hi once again, everybody. I'm John Russell, professional psychic paranormal investigator and author. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about magic, the practical application of magic, and I want to talk about faith and the application of faith. And this is going to be an interesting subject, not a dull and a dry subject, okay? If you will look around us, we are surrounded by magic. The fact that I can sit here at my computer and plug in a camera with a microphone included and make this video and talk to you worldwide, that's magic. You take a little small rectangular thin object out of your pocket and you can make calls on it, and you can search the internet on it, and you can set alarms, and you can use a calculator and phone people around the world and a multitude of other tasks. That's a miracle. That's magic. Why do I say it's magic and not just technology? Well, for one thing, think about that phone call that you make on the phone. Whether you're calling somebody across town or around the world, when they pick up the phone, they recognize your distinct individual voice. Now, I can take your phone and speak into it to the same person, and they recognize my individual voice. And a third party could take the phone and speak to that person, and yet there's still another recognizable voice. Why don't all our voices sound the same? It's the same phone, same call, same waves, same transmission, same reception, same person hearing it. Why don't all our voices sound the same? But yet all our voices are distinct and different. That's kind of magical, isn't it? I think so. Technology. Where do you think technology comes from? People get inspired. People have inspiration. That's magic. That's the other side. That's spirit guides communicating with us. That's spiritual energies and entities communicating with us. That's magic. That's the truest magic there is when magic is made visible in the form of technology. I remember one time I had a friend that worked for the National Security Agency as a code breaker. And he told me that they had this code that was absolutely giving them fits. They tried everything they could to break it, and they tried every bit of technology and every bit of science and every mathematical application, all their combined knowledge, and couldn't make any headway. And he said he came home and he was so exhausted mentally and physically from working on breaking this code that he stood by his bed in his suit and tie and dress shoes and just fell over into the bed and fell asleep exhausted in his suit. And he began to dream. And he said, John, in this dream, there was like the ticker tape that you see on Wall Street where the stocks come across, the electronic display board. And he said, scrolling across that board, here came that code. And to myself in my dream, I said, oh my God, I can't even escape this thing in my sleep. I can't get any escape or any rest from this thing. And he said, suddenly another scrolling board directly underneath it appeared. And in that board that appeared below the code, letters in clear, in other words, the decryption, the decoding process, began to show up. And he woke up startled, remembered enough of the fragment of his dream to grab a pad and paper and start writing that down. And there was the solution to breaking the code that they had been working on. Where did that come from? That didn't come from science. That didn't come from technology. That's magic. That came from somewhere out there and plugged into his subconscious, to the inner resources in his brain. Everything connected up and provided him the answer to that code. That's magic. And that's a practical application of magic. So magic does exist. Magic is all around us. It's difficult to perform magical things. We all pray for things. We may cast spells, we may meditate, we may have affirmations that we use, and we envision certain results coming about. And how many times are we actually successful in achieving that? Sometimes not many. And it's a difficult thing to do, but it doesn't mean that magic doesn't exist, and it doesn't mean that we can't find the ways to make magical happenings occur more often, more frequently in our life. So magic is real, it is out there, and we can tap into that and use it in practical ways for our lives. And I'll talk a little bit more about how we can do that as a group a little later on in the video. One of the other things I want to talk about is, we like to be entertained, don't we? I mean, even this video, you want it to be a little entertaining. You want to have something to listen to that's not too dull and dry, or you fade out, you tune out, okay? And it's fun for us to be scared. We like to watch horror movies, a lot of us, and we like to, have that jump, that fright moment, that thing that scares us. Why? Why do we like that? Well, it makes us feel a little bit more alive in that moment. It gets the senses jolting and the blood flowing and the heart racing and the nerves on end. And if your day job is sitting working with numbers all day and you're bored to tears 5 days a week, then you come home, you watch a horror movie, and suddenly you feel more alive for that little bit. So it's fun to be scared. Okay, it makes us feel more alive, and it's also great if while we watch the horror movie, the monster or the villain or whatever is captured or killed or conquered. We get a sense of relief. We get a sense of, okay, good does triumph over evil, and so on and so forth. So, all right, that's one of the things that we can look at. Now, we translate that to the paranormal, and we like to be scared by ghost stories. On one of my past videos, I discussed some of the phenomenal paranormal events I've had, and I'm sure some people went, "Oh, that's chilly," or "That's scary," or "Boy, if that happened to me, I'd be scared." So even in the paranormal realm, where we realize these things have a spiritual connotation or a spiritual context, we still like to be scared a little bit. We still like to get that little feeling of fright, from a good ghost story. And that's okay too. But the stories need to have a point. It's not just enough to make the hairs raise up on your arms, and it's not just enough to have you go, "Oh man, I bet that was an incredible experience. How scary is that?" And it's not enough to make you jump, and it's not enough to make you go, "What was that noise?" That's not the point. It's not entertainment per se. The reason that these things happen, and they may be entertaining when they happen, they may be a little spine chilling when they happen, but the reason that they happen is for us to learn from these events what the spiritual realm is trying to communicate with us and what it's trying to teach us. And then we need to learn how to apply that to our own lives so that we live better, happier lives. And then we need to see how we can take those truths and apply them to other people's lives when they ask for our help and help them lead happier, more fulfilled lives. So there's a point to all of this, and it's not pure entertainment, and that's why I get disgusted with a lot of the ghost shows on TV, the paranormal investigators, so-called, some of them on TV, is it becomes a pure entertainment thing most of the time. And instead of getting down to the nitty-gritty of why is this occurring, what entity is behind this, what message is there, and I just don't believe that every message you get is "I hate you" or "get out" or whatever. I haven't experienced that in all of my EVP recordings. I haven't experienced that in all of my paranormal investigations going back to when I was 12 years old, when I began to seriously investigate the paranormal. So I just don't believe that a lot of that is kosher. But anyway, so a lot of that is entertainment. A lot of it's entertainment value, and I don't believe a lot of it's factual or really connects us with the real truth of the spiritual and paranormal realm. Again, not going back to saying that there can't be evil or negativity out there, absolutely, but not in the way it's portrayed, and it's not hiding behind every bush waiting to jump out and grab you. I think there's far more positive and beneficial things out there that you can connect and contact with to help you overcome the darkness and the evil than there are evil things out there. So that's what you should look and push for. In all of this, I'm an ordained minister, as those of you who have read or will read my second book, A Knock in the Attic, will discover. And as an ordained minister in the church, there's a saying in the church, and particularly among preachers, among ministers, there's a saying that you can be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. Now, what does that mean? So heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. It means that you become so focused on studying scripture and praying and isolating yourself and trying to connect with God that you neglect yourself and you neglect your family and you neglect your fellow human being. Okay? Same thing happens in the paranormal realm. People excessively search for manifestations without seeking out the reason behind those manifestations, what they can learn and apply from those, and how that will help them in their lives and can help their fellow human beings. Okay? There's a Bible verse for that I want to read to you. It comes from James 2:16. I'll read the previous chapter and our verse, and the following verse says, "So suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food." In other words, they don't have enough to wear, and maybe it's going to be cold, and they're not going to be able to stay warm, and they're hungry. They don't have enough to eat that day. "So if one of you tells him, 'Go in peace, stay warm and well fed,' but does not provide for his physical needs, what good is that?" Okay? So if somebody comes to you and says, "Man, I'm really worried about tonight. I don't think I'm going to be able to stay warm, and I don't have enough to eat." And you go, "Well, God bless you. Go in peace. But keep warm. Be well fed." But you don't give them a coat, or you don't give them the money for a motel room to get out of the cold that night when the temperature drops below freezing. And if you can't slip them $20 to go get a hamburger and fries and a shake or whatever and have a little left for breakfast maybe, what good is that? That's what the Bible says. And then it says, "So too, faith by itself, if it does not result in action, is dead." Okay? So it's the same with all these experiences. These experiences in and of themselves are meaningless unless we learn from them and apply them. It's not pure entertainment. All this wonderful magic is out there, but what has that magic turned into? You get that cell phone out first thing when you wake up, and this is your life. And that's it. That's how you're bound the rest of your day. You don't pay attention to your family. You don't pay attention to your friends. You miss out on a lot of life going by. I watched a woman. I was on my motorcycle. And I watched this woman walking down the sidewalk on her cell phone. And she came to the end of the sidewalk, which was at an intersection. And without looking, she steps out into the street on her phone. And this truck was turning the corner, going onto that street, and coming around just as she stepped out into the street. And she just walked on across into his path, and if he hadn't have been paying attention, he would have hit her and killed her. And do you know what she did? Did she go, "Oh, damn, I nearly lost my friggin' life. Jesus, I got to put this friggin' phone away, and I got to pay attention to my surroundings. I got to watch what I'm doing here"? You know what she did? She, "Oh, God, and thank you for not running over me and killing me." And as she walked in front of the truck and continued to cross the street, you know what she did? So, magic is useless if it enslaves us. If the technology that comes from a magnet, from magic, if we allow that to enslave us, it's useless. It's become worthless. It doesn't enhance our lives. It doesn't enrich our lives. It endangers our lives, as it did for that woman. And we miss so much of nature and of life and of things happening, things going by. When we are paying our very best attention, mentally, visually, and every other way, we are focused and we're paying our very best attention. It's still so easy to fool us. There's a video, you can look it up on YouTube. I don't have the link right now, but you can look it up. There's a group of people come out with a basketball, and the instructions that you are given is to not take your eye off the basketball. The important thing is not the players, not their uniforms, not how they're dressed, not whether they're male or female, not who has the ball, but the ball itself, the basketball. That's the only important thing. Keep track of the basketball only. And in keeping track of the basketball, how many times is the basketball passed? Okay? So that's your instruction. So there you are. You're not on your cell phone. Maybe you don't even have music going. You're not on the TV. You're watching this video, and you're watching that basketball. All your focus, all your attention's on that basketball, and you're watching it being passed back and forth, back and forth. And now they get to the end of the video, and they tell you, "Did you see the gorilla?" And you're like, "What are you talking about?" And sure enough, in the video, A gorilla comes out and they pass the basketball to him, and he passes it around, and he goes on out of the frame, and you never notice that there's a guy in a gorilla suit or a gal in a gorilla suit. You never notice the gorilla in the video. And this is when you're focused and paying attention, okay? So how much more of life do we miss when we're not focused and not paying attention? We miss a lot of life, 90% of life. We miss things like that woman that could have saved our lives if we'd been paying attention better. We miss maybe seeing friends or seeing a beautiful sunset or seeing a sign in nature or in the heavens or from God or whatever that we've been praying for and asking for. Maybe the sign's there. Maybe it's right there. It's out there. But, we don't see it. And same with TV, same with other distractions. Anything that we get addicted to and that overwhelms us to the point that we're enslaved to it and we're not producing anything or doing anything good, doesn't do us any good. It takes away the magic. And it can be the same with spirituality and the same with religion. If you go outside to begin to meditate and you're free of distractions and you begin to have wonderful spiritual experiences that you can learn from and apply, and it makes your life better and it helps you to help other people, wonderful. But don't go then and sit out there 8 hours a day doing that, because then you've done the spiritual version of the cell phone, okay? You still have to pay the bills. You still have to run the errands. You still have to buy the groceries. You still have to help other people out. You still have to live like a normal human being. So don't become so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. That's what that means. That's the application there. So magic is out there. Yes, it's all around us. It's a wonderful thing. But we begin to take it for granted, or we become enslaved to it, and then it's useless. It doesn't help our lives. It doesn't advance our lives. The thing that we have in our pocket that could be a marvelous tool simply becomes, oh, look, a cute cat video. Oh, I wonder if so-and-so's seen this video. Oh, there's a text from so-and-so. I'll answer that later. That's not living. So that's what I wanted to tell you. And for all of the paranormal investigations, spiritual inquiries, religious inquiries, everything we make, everything we do, the bottom line is it has to have a purpose. We have to understand it and apply it to our lives in positive ways to enhance our lives and make our lives better, and then in turn try and enhance other people's lives and make their lives better as well. And if we'll do that, then the real magic begins. So I hope that's made some sense to you, given you some food for thought. I hope you think about that. Please hit the subscribe button on my video. There'll be more coming. I try and get about one a week out when I can. And also, if you'd check out my books, writingwithghosts.net, aknockintheattic.net. Both are available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Books A Million, nearly everywhere online. Walmart carries them online. These books are unlike any books you've ever read. I know a lot of authors say that, but in this case, it's literally true. They're very unique in the realm of religion, spirituality, the occult, paranormal, supernatural, psychic, etc. These are stories unlike any you've ever read before. And I had a publisher tell me that, and I've had my readers tell me that they've never seen or read anything like this, and they've been reading books on the paranormal and psychics and everything their entire lives, and they've never seen anything like that before. So check those out. Those will give you some food for thought and help you a little bit. And remember to take a break and get re-involved with life when you need to after you read the books. But I'd appreciate you picking up a copy, and they make great gifts for your friends. So stay tuned in. Also, if you would like more information about me or to schedule a psychic reading with me, go to my website for that, which is johnrussell.net. johnrussell.net. I appreciate you watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please do subscribe and come back. Share this with your friends. I'm John Russell, psychic, paranormal investigator, author, and I'll see you again soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.